Well, hello folks, Dennis here. Hope you can all hear me. I can hear you well in my head. Hoping you're going to come along to the show. Anyway, this is the 3rd of December, so it's only 22 days to Christmas, to unwrapping the presents. Isn't that wonderful? So, if you can... Oh, brilliant. Tim Abbott is here. Good evening, Tim. Nice to see you here. If you could hear me, if you can hear me, Tim, and see me, that would be wonderful. All I've got in front of me is my monitors, so I really don't know what Facebook is showing. And Michelle Claire Bennett is here, and Margaret Nash is watching. Well, flipping heck, I am... You know, they're saying if there's 3 people, then you're in the presence of Christ. Hello. Hello, Michael, Michelle. I always keep getting that name mixed up. Here we are. So that's hello. Hope you've had a great weekend or a great week, Michelle. In fact, all of you, I hope you've had a great week. So tonight's going to be about gangsters. Spiritual gangsters like the one behind me. Yeah, the one behind me. Him. Do you recognise that face? That picture was taken, I must have taken 6 years ago. 6 years ago, that picture. Flipping it, I haven't changed much ever. And it was a film I was doing for the students at Manchester University. They have a student filmmakers there, and they contacted me and said, we're looking for somebody like yourself to do a spiritual gangster, to be honest with you. So I said, tell me more. So they told me more. I said, count me in. And they recorded it on the tram lines or the railway lines up here, up where I live. And it was quite good, actually. Yeah, I was a spiritual gangster. And I come across the picture this week and I thought, wonder what this is all about. Anyway, upstairs kicked in and said, it's about time people do become spiritual gangsters. And I went, why? Tell me why. He said, well, you are, basically. So you have to pass it on to the people now. I said, so, hey, hang about. I said, me, spiritual gangster, I'm a pansy, really. I'm a soft so-and-so. He said, no, you're not. Because you're determined to actually bring the light onto this planet. And that's what a gangster is all about. He's determined. He's determined to have things their way. A spiritual gangster can be a male or female. So it doesn't really matter what species we talk about here. All that matters is that to be a spiritual gangster, it's about trying to do things your way for your benefit. A gangster, it smacks of evil, doesn't it? It smacks of getting your own way. It smacks of manipulation, organized crime. Well, basically, if you put a spiritual thing before that, spiritual getting your way, spiritual organization, not the crime, spiritual enlightenment, spiritual wealth. So it's about time to be a gangster. And all this was kind of given to me in like 2 seconds. For when upstairs comes in with me, it is so quick and like instant. I think, well, what's that all about? And then it takes me a little bit of a while to actually think, yeah, I know what all that's about now. And it is more about being in tune with the flow, being in tune and adjusting things as you go along, like I adjusted the mic there. It's about adjustment. And, 2020, there's going to be a change of energy. There's definitely going to be a change of energy because a lot of people, they're feeling it now. They're feeling it in November, on December. They felt it. They rung me and said, I feel like I'm in the void. I said, well, that's great. That means a change is happening. That means a change is happening because when you kind of come in on yourself, when you look at yourself and you feel nothing's happening, I can't reach the dimensions where I reached before. I'm kind of looking at food that I can eat of a higher vibration. I'm looking at people that I really need to get out of my life. What is that telling you? Well, to me, it's telling me that I'm on the next level. I'm going to that next level. And this is, put it in a square box in that silent room. It's for you to look at, or for us, me, you, and I to look at and think, this doesn't serve me anymore. The 2020, the energy is going to be a lot more upwards than it has been in the past years. Now, it always comes in numbers, years of hard work, years of reaping that benefit. So let's use the number 3 or the number 4. And let's look at that in 3 years or 4 years past to where we are now, and 3 years to 4 years into the future. So let's say 2003 towards 2004. From 2000, 2003, 2004, we are going to go up. There's a new beginning. It's a new presentation of ourselves. We are remodeling ourselves. We are becoming more stronger in who we are, in what we're looking for, and in what we are prepared to take on board, and who we are prepared to let into our lives. So that's a spiritual gangster. They're not prepared to let anybody come into their life and give them drama, unless they can snuff it out like that quickly. Then I suppose they would do. But it's about walking your path, having your machine gun, your Tommy gun with your side, to mow down those people who will try to stand in your way, who will try to manipulate you into the way they think, to the way they want you to behave, or fall in behind them. You could call it the Pied Piper, because what did the Pied Piper do? In the fairy tale, he played his flute and he collected all the children, or he collected all the mice. Right? What does it mean? Collection. They're rounding people up. So it's not about being the Pied Piper, it's being the silent mover, the silent spiritual gangster who goes out, who knows what they want, and they're not prepared to let anybody or anything or any organization stand in their way. But at the same time, going back to the black and white films, there was a theme going through it. They always had somebody that they were fond of, like the mole, the gangster's lady, or the lady gangster's man. Let's make it, multi-sex here. So it's like there's always a theme, always. What are they doing it for? Well, they're doing it for wealth, they're doing it for control, they're doing it for themselves so they can be feeling happy and in tune. And this is what we are, folks. We are spiritual gangsters, all of us. But we've been, in a way, told to water it down. Water it down, I ask you. And it's not gin and tonic, it's just plain water. "2020, it's gangster time. It's about you, your thoughts, your feelings, your behaviour, your recalibration, the new energy coming onto the planet, the old energy sliding away. It's been sliding away for the last 2 or 3 months now. It's been going, and there's a lot of you. I suppose if you can post your comments on or somebody might want to ring up on Skype. If you want to ring up on Skype, the name Denis Barnes, my Skype is open. We can have a talk. Send me a contact and I'll bring you on. So it's about our energy and how we can be a gangster for ourselves. That makes sense. To bring the things that we are searching for into our vicinity. That means wealth, that means happiness, that means peace of mind, that means spiritual upliftment. That's all coming. But you and I got to do it. We've got to make the effort. We've got to stand out there and take no rubbish of politicians, of governments, or other people on the spiritual path who are just trying to stop you from reaching your spiritual goal. Because, believe me folks, there is jealousy in the spiritual realms, and it's our job to actually to cut this down, to cut this rotten vine off the tree with a sharp implement so it doesn't grow another vine, which then entangles the tree and chokes the tree. Jealousy in spirituality should not be allowed, but it does, because a lot of people want to pull you down from your perch to where they are because, excuse me, you know why? Because they can't understand. They don't understand, or they can't reach that level that you are at. So what do you do then if they try to pull you down? Well, obviously, you have to be the gangster and make sure they don't survive to pull you down. I don't mean go out there and kill them, but you have to assassinate their way that they're thinking about you by not bringing it on board, by sending their thoughts back to them. You know the old way. You put a mirror in front of them. So if they're sending thoughts to you, you are sending it, they're bouncing back off the mirror, reflecting it back to them. So you're being a gangster on them by reflecting it back to them. So gangster. How can I explain gangster in a way that most people can understand it? Selfish behavior. So I've just received a message here, folks, and I missed it, so I don't know where it is. Okay. Carol would like to have me on Skype. Okay, fine. Carol, accept. Okay, fine. I'm seeing the show on Facebook now. Thank you, Carol. I appreciate that. Sorry, folks. I've just got distracted then. Right. So, selfishness. The gangster goes out and wants to make a better life for himself. And what does he do? He falls what you may call into a way of crime, a way of life. He sees that he's not happy with what he's got, with the pittance and the breadcrumbs, or the dimes, or the quarters. He wants dollars. He wants the 100 bills. He wants the 1,000 bill. He's not happy. So what does he do? He sets out, and sometimes he treads on people's feelings. He treads on their way of life to get what he wants. So we have to do that as well. Not tread on people's feelings, tread on people's life, but there's a pattern what the gangster was doing. He was or she as well, was being determined to go out, to pay the way, and let nothing and nobody slow him down. And that's what people are doing to us at the moment. They're trying to slow you down because it is what you may call a rat race out there. And unfortunately, for the ones who do believe it, it is getting worse. People are resorting to underhand tactics. And it's our job as an enlightened being is to be the gangster with them in a nice way. But the gangster relates to us, relates to what we want, what we're searching for, who we're searching for, what enlightenment that we are searching for. You know, my people call me the spiritual assassin. I say, why do you call me that? He said, because you have an habit, which is good, of assassinating people's false beliefs. I said, doesn't that make me an enemy? They said, with some it would do. But with some, they would say, well done, Dennis. I didn't realise I was believing that. I was thinking that way. You've shown me a different way of thinking. So you're an assassin. It's like you're showing people the right way. Jesus Christ was an assassin. Wow, what a statement. Jesus Christ, the Christ vibration, was an assassin. For if he was here now, what would he do? He would dress in the best clothes. For me, he would dress in a handmade Italian suit. He would wear Egyptian cotton shirts, silk ties, handmade Italian shoes. He'd wear the finest watch, everything. And he would go down dressed like this. He would go down into the taverns, into where you may call the no-go areas. And he wouldn't be scared. But he'll be assassin because he knows his worth. He would go and he would go into the taverns, or what you may call different taverns now, different words. He would go to where the people are and they're living a mediocre life. And he'd sit there and they would come around and, who's this guy here dressed like this? Hey, they tap on the shoulder and say, who are you? You're not supposed to be here. He says, well, I've come to assassinate your beliefs. What? He's lucky he doesn't get hung, drawn and quartered there and then. The statement was, oh, I've come to assassinate your beliefs. I've come to be a gangster, the assassinator of your false beliefs. And they might say, well, why have we got false beliefs? Well, do you not know you can live better than this? Oh, no, they answer. That's just the way we've been shown. Okay, do you know that you can have better health than you're experiencing now? No, we've not got access to free health. Do you know that you can think differently? And as you think and feel differently, your whole vibration changes. No, they said. No, we didn't know we could do that. Who are you? They say to him. He turns round and addresses all the crowd, says, I am the assassinator. I am the spiritual gangster. I've come to assassinate your beliefs that are holding you down to what you are capable of. Let me rise you up, my fellow brothers and sisters, he might say. And as he rises his hands up, he actually starts to levitate off the floor. And they go, wow, who is this guy? He says, by the power of who I am, what I know, where I come from, and the energy and the vibration that surrounds me and works with me and overshadows me, I can do all these things in the name of the I am. And they say, well, who is the I am? And he turns around and says, I am the assassinator. God, God, that divine source, mother, father, whatever you call it, the consciousness is the assassinator. If you look beyond your way of thinking now, he could be the gangster. You might say, oh, this spiritual gangster come to show us the way, come to deprive us of our livelihood. Yes, come to deprive you of the way you think and feel now. That is a gangster. Dealing in taking the thoughts off you that do not support you, that belittle you, that keep you down in your 6-foot grave. That's the gangster. That's the assassinator, wanting to lift you up, wanting to you to stand up and reincarnate yourself as you're living. You do not have to go through the death sequence. You do not have to do that. I'll tell you why as well later. Somebody remind me. Send me a message and remind me. So that is the Christ vibration. He would show them what they're doing now, and at the same time assassinate their belief patterns about themselves and show them a different way of feeling and thinking and holding themselves up to the light. And actually to turn around and compare where they've come from. I came from over that hill where it was deep and it was dark and it was swampy and it was marshland, and I've travelled up to the light on the hill. I can see I'm on the hill. I can see beyond, way beyond. What is this I'm feeling? Well, you've been sucked out of your self-worth that you thought you were nothing. And it has to start with somebody coming in. If you're not already on that level, somebody coming in from anywhere, any person, at any time, in any shape or any form, can come in and can rattle your cage and say, get out there. Get out of your jail. Let me assassinate. Let me be the spiritual gangster and assassinate your thoughts and feelings regarding yourself. Because you are better than you are. You are better than what you think you are. You are better than the thoughts you are feeling now. Because they keep you in a cage. They've kept you in the swamp, down the hill. But now you've had the time and the reason to ponder on life. Because somebody is coming in and showed you the way and said, here, you can eat at the greasy spoon, or would you like to eat at the 5-star Michelin restaurant? Choice is yours. That's the assassinator. He assassinates one way of you thinking, this is all I'm worth, this is all I know. No, there's a lot more than that. When we look at ourselves in the mirror and truly understand that every thought and every feeling creates the way we think and feel at that moment, we start to look at the thoughts and feelings that we need to assassinate. We need to become the spiritual gangster of and get rid of them, mow them down, put them against the wall. Valentine's Massacre. You put them against the wall and you just machine them to smithereens so they cannot come back up. That's what we have to do. I know it's a little bit like, you might think, picturesque, like, oh, killing and murdering. It's not. You're dealing with your thoughts, and sometimes you have to be very sharp, very powerful, and get the job done. Because if you don't get the job done, sooner or later you will have to get the job done. Nobody is walking out this place alive, and nobody is going to come back at the same level that they are now. Because most of us, I know I am, most of people over 50 years of age are working on their next life by their thoughts, their feelings, and what they do and what they think and how they are. They're working on their future incarnation. And people say, oh, I'm not coming back. I'm saying, well, you will come back. This is my last life. Well, no, it's not. You will come back until the time you think, I'm getting to the point where I should start looking at something else, somewhere else. Because you've got to the point of self, soul, God realization. And when you know that, you can move off this, what you may call this earth vibration, And there are different planets very similar to Earth where you can move to and you can have another experience. You can have another opportunity of growing and being a phenomenal spiritual being that you are supposed to be. But when you come down to this earth, somehow you thought the peasant's clothes were good enough for you, the porridge, the stale bread, to be enslaved to the rich. You thought that was good enough. You thought that that's all you're supposed to be. But let me tell you, you're not. You've just not found your light, your diamond. When you find your light, or when somebody shows or explains where to look, and they help you to find your light, you're the one who must clean it off, dust it, wash it, polish it, so it sparkles. For that is you. That is you in this life. Multifaceted human being. But we will call it different. You are a multifaceted spiritual being that you can exist at many dimensions, at many times, at different times, and in different energy forms. So you are all this. Now, your mind must be thinking, am I existing on a different vibration right here, right now, while I'm listening to Denis and the Council? And we will say, yes, you are. And your future self will be looking back at this now thinking, the one that doesn't come yet is watching and listening to a broadcast, to a frequency exchange, a harmonic conversion that will give him or her the opportunity to understand and to reach out. For you can locate. You can locate even while you're in the physical body. You can bilocate. You can be in one place now and you can be automatically in another place. But the thing is, because you've been conditioned by those who want to keep you on that dungeon wall, you've been conditioned by them not allowing for you to think, or the people that have got the knowledge, they've not been allowed to come to teach or to share. Gone is the days when the gurus will stand on a stage and they'll have all the devotees in front of them. Gone are the days when the people dress to impress on the stage. The days are here where you, I, the beings, my team, help you to become self-realized, a guru in yourself. We are not gurus, beloveds. We are just passers on of a message, passers on of knowledge. For one cannot pass on knowledge unless they've integrated it into themselves, understand it, and are using it. For you could become a book. And what does a book do? You read a book. But how would you know the author of that book is authentic? Do you believe the book in all its entirety? Or do you take things out which floats your boat? And we would say, take things out that float your boat. But going back, we digress there. As a lawyer would say, we've sidebarred, but we'll come back to the main evidence here. When you integrate the knowledge that people bring to you and you feel it's right, and you understand it and you practice it, and you have this sense that this is right for me, then and only then are you allowed to go out and to share with those who maybe would like to listen. However, there are ones who go out and they've only got half the story, who do not practice what they preach. Would you like that as a guide, as a way shower? Maybe you would call them the Pied Piper, bringing you around as one of the sheep. And we would say, hopefully no, is that you interact, you listen to our words coming through our partner at this time and think, how does it make you feel? Are you thinking? Are you feeling? Has it woken you up? Do you feel powerful inside? If you do, then you're working on it. If you come back to this video later and it fires you up, then even better. Play it back. Listen to the words again, because the words are very powerful. That's why there's a gap, to let the words sink in. We remember once where he was on a radio show, on Achieve Radio. That's the American base. And he was talking, and the engineer in his ear whispered in his ear, said, "Why do you stop talking? You're the only one that I know that people listen to you, and they listen when you stop talking." Like then, I stopped. And I said after the show, it's in that quiet moment that the words sink in, that the feelings show themselves. The soul wants more. When you're quiet, the ego kind of gets confused, doesn't know what to do. So when you're quiet, the ego mostly goes quiet. So the soul experiences. Your heart endeavors to love even greater and more beautiful. So in those dead air moments, they are planned. Laughter is also planned. Having a sense of humour is God-given. When you make somebody laugh and they laugh out loud, they are forgetting their earthly troubles, their earthly strifes. They are experiencing a different frequency which outgrows everything else at that time. And when you laugh, you allow us to come in. You allow the healing vibrational energy to invoke you and involve you in and spin you up into a cosmic being that you were once again. Love is your domain. You have come from love. You are love, and you are not but love. You're nothing else but love. But you've dimmed your love light as you've come on this planet, and you've allowed the darkness to overshadow your light on purpose, to a point, to give you the courage, to give you an example, to give you an experience of finding your light. All of you have come onto this world at this time to experience the earth vibration as it is right now in this time, nearly 2020. And in 2020, beloveds, those who practice love, those who practice discernment, those who practice peace and quiet moments are going to have a ride of their life. For the old energy is changing and the new energy is here. And for those who felt confused, conflicted, drawn in on yourself, really not sure what to do, how to do it, you are on the verge of pushing forward into a different dimensional energy that you've understood many, many thousands of years ago, but forgotten the feeling, and now it's been going round again. What goes around comes around, and where you've come from, where we have come from, always comes round as well. So remember, 2020, January, is going to be a phenomenal time for those who truly believe in themselves and their jobs and their way of life. Now, if things have been halting you and you're not sure what to do, beginning of the year will give you courage. You'll find a way. You'll see the light. A pathway will be formed. The brick walls will disappear. The doors will open only because you in the past have stood sentry over your thoughts and feelings, and you're being a spiritual gangster right here, right now. And what you've done in the past, you've assassinated your old beliefs. You've done a number on yourself, which is great. Now it's time to do a number on other people. If they come to you, you cannot force them. You cannot force people to break bread with you, drink wine with you. Someone just said here to drink mead with you. Oh, this is Shakespeare coming in. He came in last week and it was phenomenal, but he got shortchanged because my software went. I know why. Because the energy wasn't too much to be contained at that moment. So it's about now. It's about those who have got the psychic ability in 2020 will be more in tune. Will the gifts will be like, whoa. It will be like the Russian doll where you had a small doll inside a bigger doll and a bigger doll and a bigger doll. Well, let's say the small doll is you now, and in the months to come you're going to go into a bigger doll and a bigger doll and a bigger doll and a bigger doll. And you know what's coming next? The bigger doll. This is you expanding from your small self into the greater self. This is coming. All you have to do is believe it. Milk it to its worth. Do a gangster on yourself. Do a job on yourself. Let nobody pull you down, but choose the company you're in. Choose the company, beloveds. Let no friends, let no foes pull you down. Always remember that. Judge people by what they say as well. Stand back. Watch. Listen. You know what happens then. You walk away or you stay. If you stay, you talk. If you walk away, you leave them to what they're doing now, for they are not of your vibration. They are not needing your words of wisdom at that time. And then, the people that are searching for you, they will come one by one, or they may even come in the hordes, in the masses. But are you ready for this, beloveds? Are you ready to stand up and to speak words of wisdom and comfort to people? Are you ready to live your life? And are you ready to look at yourself, to look at the shadow work that you need to do on yourself, to continue bringing the light in and bathing in the light? Do you wake up in the mornings from your night dreams? Are you speaking words of comfort? Are you channeling? Our partner is, and he knows it. He wakes up most days and he's channeling a message. And what was that for? No one's listening to it. We say, don't worry. This is our practice. And for you are hearing these words now, this is our practice. For I guarantee that only the ones who are supposed to find this video will find it. You will listen to it. And you will take things home with you. You will look, you will listen, you will feel, you will integrate the energy of this video. And you might say, for what? And we will say, for your personal development, to add a different heightened brightness to your aura, to your cosmic being, and to your Merkaba. That is our message for you this evening, beloveds. Do not take any prisoners. Be the spiritual gangster. Be the assassinator of false beliefs for yourself and for others, and then stand ready to help people to formulate a plan that will help them to come off the wards of slavery and to escape the jailers in every country and at every level of education. Well, I'm still here. Dennis Noble, I like that. This is really good. Thanks very much. I'll tell you what, folks. Just forgive me for, let's put that there. Can that go on there? Yeah, it can. Then I had no idea how tonight was going to go. And when I look at that back, when I listen to that back tomorrow, I'm going to be thinking, wow, is that what they've said in how they've said it? Did you like it? Let me know. Any questions? What a blessing. Thank you. So I'm only a blessing, folks, because you're here. Do you have any questions to ask while the Council of 12 here? You know, I do channel the Galactic 7. The Galactic 7 are 7 members of the Galactic Federation that broke away, and they call themselves the Galactic 7. They only come at special times when the world is needed a boost, an enlightenment. They tell me lots of times they've come to offer the technology, but the governments have turned them down. Yes, the governments know about them. They do know about extraterrestrials, but they've turned them down. They don't want the information, or the Galactic 7 has withheld the information because what they would do, the governments, they would use it to enslave more people. And we are the freedom fighters. We are the resistance. We are the spiritual resistance. We are. But we're growing. We are absolutely growing, all of us. We are growing in knowledge, we're growing in strength, we are growing in our light quota, in our light portion. Our body suits are becoming lighter, they're becoming more healthy, we're becoming more wiser, we know exactly where to be, not to be, who to talk to, not to talk to, when to go out, when not to go out, and when to sit in silence and just be. But when we sit in silence, the universe listens to us, and it talks to us at the same time. For when we sit in silence, we don't normally sit in true silence, for our thoughts are, unless you are the guru and you can quieten your mind, I can't do that yet properly. But the universe gives. It gives to us in thought forms, it gives to us in feelings. And what happens, we build this up during the meditation time. We put in money in the bank. So as we go out during the day, we can draw out of the meditation bank to keep us peaceful and quiet, and to know who we should talk to, and to know what food we should eat at that time. For food is very important to us now. So if we can now train our bodies to eat the purest and the finest food, drink the purest water, we can find that food that nourishes us in mind, body and spirit, and the physical, obviously, then we become what we were before, superhumans. There are people making the transition from, well, very easy, from eating meat to being a vegetarian to being a fruitarian, then a breatharian. A breatharian. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. A person who lives on breath alone. But to get to that point of being a breatharian, where the universe gives you, where you survive on the breath, the manner in the atmosphere, you have to change. Your whole structure of your body has to change. You can't just wake up one morning and think, I'm going to be a breatharian, because I tell you what, you'll die. You have to change. DNA-wise, you have to change. So we're all changing. We're all becoming lighter beings, more intelligent, more educated, more intellectual to a point. But in the whole, we're becoming more loving and we're becoming more open. And as we become more open, ladies and gentlemen, that's when we have to stand guard. We have to bring forth ourselves in multiple forms to stand guard around us while our heart is open. For there are people out there, when they see somebody open, who try to come in like a thief at the night and steal the heart. But this is where you are wise enough to know this could happen, but obviously you put then into practice a series of events where this will not happen. Something just flashed up on my screen then. It says, how can I help you? But I didn't do anything. Wow, this is amazing. I love tonight how the energy is coming through. I have no filters here. When I say I have no filters here, please try to understand what I'm going to say now and what I'm going through, because my heart is open. And there was a spiritual being here to my right hand side, dressed in all white, approached me, and in front of my desk here gave me a bowl. A being of white, dressed in white, approached from the right hand side and gave me a bowl. And they're saying, now, those that feed our brothers and sisters, we here, the white brotherhood, will feed them. This is their words. You are being fed our beloved partner, and have been fed for the years that you stood alone on a stage, solo, with no physical being beside you, but the white beings behind you. It takes strength to look into a camera lens and to have a vibration open here, to feel, to see, to understand. And that same vibration, that same channel has been with you through all your spiritual experiences for the past, what you may call 35 years on this planet. And the reason why we say this to bring our partner into it is for those of you who would like to pick up the mantle of becoming a spokesperson of light, of energy, of cosmic brilliance. And we say to you that if he can have master of the voice, and he was born with a speech impediment, he could not talk. If he can do this and can listen and can understand the pictures that we send to him, that he paints in a picture form for you to understand, you who are listening and watching this can do it also, and maybe even better. For it is our privilege once again to walk amongst you. We know who you are. We know where you live. We know what you're going through. And we know sometimes you pull your hair out, for you don't think you're getting the information. And let us say to you in a quiet voice, you are getting the information. You've just not found it yet. And there are many ways to find the information that we send to you. But one of the best and the greatest ways is peace and quiet. If you can meditate with like-minded beings, in a group or solo if you have to do. In a group it is accelerated. Solo it is a little bit harder. But what happens when you meditate, beloveds? The beings that you work with, the beings of light that our beloved works with, come down, come about you, and come around you, and offer their love, their understanding, their knowledge, and they try to bring it to you in a way that you can understand it. Not willy-nilly, not too much right brain, left brain, but in a way that you can understand it. Because you are in a world at the moment which has got tremendous possibilities of loving and healing. And this is what you've been going through for the last 10 to 15 years. Since 2020, so since 2000, it has been a steady growth of self-realization for you, light workers. And there are many light workers. There are light workers who work with the hands, light workers like our partner who works with the voice and the hands. But there are many light workers who are waking up to understand a different language, a star system language. You were all given the star system language, but you've chosen a path of how to bring forth your personality, how to bring forth your information in a way that you understood it first and foremost, which we spoke about it earlier, about integration of oneself first before you can bring it out into the masses. You've all been here before. And once again, you're learning. And for those who've not woken up yet, you will. Trust us when we say that, you will. And the ones who have woken up now, or have woken up before, and you think you're struggling, let us say this to you now. Are you listening? Are you really listening with your heart? You are not struggling. Just because you cannot see the change in your life, or feel the change in your life at this moment, for in the unseen worlds there is change, and is coming towards you. So, rest easy. Go to bed on a light stomach. Ask your higher self and those that support you to bring you the information in a dream form that can assist you to be more open, to be more at peace, to be more knowledgeable in the coming days. And remember, for we have gone into channel again with him, for he did not then know this was going to happen. For we've asked him many times not to plan anything before the show. In fact, to do earthly things. For there's times he used to sit in meditation hours before, prepare himself during the day, but he'd come with a plan, and that's not what we wanted here, who work with our beloved. We wanted a vessel that was empty, that had no filters, who could see and sense us and the pictures we send him and the words we give him. He's not spoon-fed. We mix our vibrational energy with him, and like so, he with us. So he's a conscious channeler. He knows our thoughts. We know his thoughts. But like we said before, we only point the finger at him at the moment is to say you can do it. Look at those who shine a path for you. Look for those who pat you on the back and keep encouraging you to move on. Be aware that the true ones you do not have to keep paying out. The true ones give it because they're true to themselves. It comes back in different ways. Yes, sometimes you have to pay for things, for there is a natural exchange of energy. For if things were free on your earth plane, most people would not respect. So it's sometimes a lot easier to say this will cost you this in money and time, because you will take notice of it. You won't throw it away because it was given freely. For it's not respected. Unfortunately, this is your earth plane vibration. It is not the vibration that we work on here, across the Milky Way, you would say. For we do have a sense of humour, for we like to milk it. That's why we said the Milky Way. Forgive him while he goes quiet, for he's looking, waiting and watching. For the ones who are wanting and expressing a wish to work spiritually, upon receiving messages from their loved ones at a level they can understand, that veil will be lifted quite soon. So keep practicing. Keep doing your best. But remember, there are vibrations that go beyond the astral plane. There are countless degrees of the astral plane and countless degrees of the spiritual vibrations. But we won't not go into that today. We return him to you at the moment to see what is going on, to look at the screens, and we are here to answer your questions. Haha, we are laughing, for we know sometimes when we say we'll answer your questions, everything goes silent. We await. Excuse me, folks, I'm just having a look at the people here. Steve Nicholson, Karen, Riley, Carol, Michelle, audio ones. Thank you very much. Oh, there's quite a few people here. Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much. I'm so happy you are here because you've given me a boost, because I feel quite low sometimes. I'm a Scorpio male, and Scorpio is Pluto based. It's a Pluto planet. And Scorpio, the downside of being a Scorpio is they get depressed. I know I go through bouts of depression sometimes, being single, doing all this by myself, and still wanting to reach out to a higher degree to help other people. And I'm thinking, I get depressed. But I know it's only my body shell. I know it's only the astrological stamp that I was born under for a reason, for an experience. And what you've done tonight He's allowed me to be who I am, to let them, I get emotional now, to let them shine their light through me for you. Any messages? Put that over there. Caring for animals. I have a group of people here and they are dancing on the spot. They're quite happy with the question. For every time there is a forest fire, every time there is a flood, every time there is a disaster, the animals perish by the thousands. However, they are not totally gone. They go to their oversoul, to the greater oversoul. They've elected to share the planet with yourselves. They've elected their consciousness as though it is less than your consciousness, understands what is happening, but they don't realize it at that time because they are not, in a way, what you call free thinking and intellectual. So to answer your question about what do you do for animals, and we will say for all animals in every shape or form, is to respect them, to know that they are here on your planet on purpose at the same time. You have not got dominion over them or domain. You've not got power over them. They are here and they breathe your air and they bask in your sun. So while you have them on the planet, we suggest that you care for them in the best way you can. That is the question. Okay, I wonder why things... that's good. Oh, wrong one. That's good. Oh my goodness, as I was writing my question and you answered, well, it wasn't me answering. It was, well, you know, the Council of 12, this 12 Ascended Masters, and those that work with them. I think tonight has been a mixture, and I would love to know who this person was that came in from my right-hand side with a bowl, kind of bowed, dressed in white, and placed it on the table. And it's like saying, you're feeding our brothers and sisters, so we feed you. I want more. I want to know. This is it. I want to know. Sometimes I feel starved. I want to know, but I know everything's right. So at the same time, I know everything's right. It's just the ego. It's the human condition. Thank you very much. They just said too much information, but not enough transformation. Too much information, but not enough transformation. You're not integrating it. You're not working on it. You can't have that meal before it's digested. Well, and before it's digested, have another meal. For it is superfluous. It's not going to assist you in your health, and that's the same with spiritual enlightenment. You see, somebody who's been in a materialistic desert for like half their lifetime, and they've been wandering around the materialistic desert, call it the Sahara Desert, and they, for some chance, find the exit where they come and to meet you, and you're stood. at the exit. What do you do when someone's been in that materialistic desert? Do you give them a 4-course meal of spirituality? No. No way, because you kill them. The stomach can't cope. The same with spiritual knowledge. You can't overfill the vessel. The vessel or the teapot has got to pour it out. You pour it in, it's got to pour it out. You can't keep pouring in because before the spout pours out. So you give that person who's been wandering around the material desert, you give them a sip of water, a piece of cake. Okay, let's have a sense of humour here. Let's call it angel cake. Boom, boom. So, a sip of water, piece of angel cake, and you let them digest it before you give them some more substance. It's the same with spirituality. It's the same with knowledge. The same with the information. When you have integrated it into oneself, into one's heart, which is not a human heart, it's half cosmic. When you integrate all the information that is being fed to you, spiritual information, and you understand what to do with it, and you can paint a picture, or you can paint the canvas in colours that other people will look at and think, wonderful, then you can have your meal. It's like the teapot. You fill the teapot. It's got to be able to be put on its side for the spout to pour out. And once you pour the spout out, it can be continually topped up from the top into the body of the teapot, which is you. As it swirls around, you're integrating it, you're understanding it, and then as you understand it and integrated it, you pour it out to other people. So we would say, in a nice way, be the teapot. Be a spiritual teapot for people. For that will also nourish you at the same time. Well, any questions, folks? It's now, 22:11. It's been 1 hour and 10 minutes. I think, unless somebody wants to ring in or somebody wants to, on Skype, someone ask some questions, I think I'll leave it on a high. I think that's the best way to do. What do you think? I'm here. I'm at your beck and call. But in the meantime, if you're looking for consultations, readings, spiritual life coaching, philosophy, philosophy. But if you would like to purchase a reading from the Council of 12, there's a 1 hour session, there's a half a day session, or a full day session. The details are on my website, thecouncilor12.com. So I can see no one's any more questions. So what I'm going to do, folks, I'm going to say thank you so much for allowing me to talk to you tonight, to come into your homes on your iPhones or your phones or your computers, laptops, iPad, whatever smart thing you're using. Thank you. Please leave a comment. Please, if you're not already a friend on Facebook, please make me a friend. Make a comment, please, because show me in a way, tell me in a way, explain in a way how you would like the next show to go next Tuesday. What would you like to see in the show? What would you like the council to think about? That would be wonderful. Karen, Anastasia, Riley, I'm new to the Council of 12. Thank you for sharing. Eager to understand more. You are so welcome. And Michelle, thank you very much, Michelle. Carol, thank you so much for being here. And all the others here. Sarah, Kay, David, Kate Edwards, thank you for being here. if you're not a friend, please make me a friend, make a comment, and if you'd like some assistance from the Council of 12, that would be great. So in the meantime, I will say good night. I will go off with the little bit of advertisement. I think it's pulling it down, but thank you for allowing me and the council to come through, because at one stage I was nearly cracking. My heart was open and my eyes were leaking. I'm sure you know what that means. So I will say good night, God bless, and I will see you next week, 9:30. Over and out.
Are you looking for spiritual guidance in all areas of your life? Are you looking for direction and purpose on your spiritual path, along with insight into how the world is now? Are you seeking divine guidance as you merge more into your higher self? Are you expressing yourself to others from the mind rather than the heart? And are you seeking a higher knowledge that resonates with your everlasting soul? Well, if you can answer yes to any of those questions, and Denis Barnes and the Council of 12 are here to assist you as you walk amongst the jungle of mankind. For more information, visit www.denisbarnes.com. That's DenisBarnes.com.